Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. What fine days today. I am delighted to be blessed by your company. Come, please, sit down, relax, and watch me complete my Inktober sketchbook. Yes, you absolutely heard me right. That is correct. I am indeed completing something that is technically from last year, or should we say from 5 months ago. How did this happen? Why am I posting a video after 6 months? Why am I even completing something that was from that long ago? Well, let's start with that last question. As you know, it is the beginning of spring, one of the most beloved, beautiful, and inspiring seasons in which everything begins anew. And so does sprinkling. After all the holidays of December and the hectic weeks of January and a little bit of a breather from February, you may find yourself in a situation where everything is left untainted and messy, so you start sorting your stuff out. I finally had a moment in which I had some alone time, and the first thing that came to my mind was that I should finish my sketchbook from October. Because I originally started that challenge with the idea of improving my time managing skills and actually practicing. And when I started, I was doing my best. Yes, I did post things with a little bit of lateness, but that was because I was overdoing things. And I'm always late. I was overdoing things because I was trying so hard to please myself. I wanted to see that my work had some kind of improvement from my previous ones, so I was having a hard time thinking of concepts that will fit with my ideal vision. I was constantly erasing and redoing, which took a lot of time and effort, so in other words, I didn't manage to achieve my initial goal. The main reason why I decided to go back to drawing this sketchbook was that goal. And because I am not a quitter. Oh, I'm so mad at myself. I want to go back in time and teach myself a lesson. Peace may be an option, but violence is faster. And as Gandalf says, a wizard is never late, nor is he early. He arrives precisely when he means to. And by chance, the place where I left off in October was my Gandalf sketch. I didn't think about it till this moment, but right now while writing the script I got reminded of that line and I find it very fitting to my situation. Why? Well, because when you finish the video, you see there is a great improvement in my current drawings, I hope. And I actually really achieved my goal. I did in fact get better with my time managing skills, and all monochrome drawings with ink are done in less than an hour. Even my colored ones are done in around 2 hours, which is such a huge improvement as my previous drawings were around 3 hours or more. And most importantly, I was doing this after clearing my mind and fully enjoying the process and learning along the way. So I did indeed return to the moment I was meant to. Now let's talk about the drawings. So far as you can see, I have drawn Gandalf the Grey from Lord of the Rings, an owl, and Princess Serenity. And Princess Serenity had me tearing up pages when I was sketching her up. Thankfully, I think she turned out fine. I left her monochrome because her color schemes consist mostly of white, and I thought the line art needed some room to shine. Next on the list is drawing that had me gambling with the trust the process gods, because I thought that I can't spare enough time to color it with coloring pencils, because if I were to do every other drawing with coloring pencils, like I originally started, I will fail to keep up with my time again. So I took my ink pens and just started doodling away. No thoughts, head empty. My hand was in printing mode and it didn't hesitate for a moment. At a certain time I finally regained consciousness and found my idea absurd and was on the verge of breakdown, but somehow things worked out. How? I have no idea. And finally, so as to not make things look too depressing, I added some warmth with 2 markers, one yellow and the other peachy. I left space for the parts that I wanted to appear glowing. I also left some space for the fairies. And boom, it's done. Next on the list, you can see that I'm skipping one day from the prompt. That is because I don't have footage of that drawing. Anyways, by now I think it's clear. I love Gintama. And I'm especially fond of the specific behind-the-scene frame of Hijikata Toshiro, drawing his blade and motion. I do not have much experience drawing male characters, but I really want to learn and try drawing more epic drawings that look cool and have different angles, difficult perspective, and motion. I recently started watching One Piece, and whenever I see Zoro I think of Toshiro, even though they are totally different personalities. I feel like the cast of Gintama really managed to bring those characters to life, and all the memes are engraved in my mind. Mayo 13. Even though Toshiro is not one of my most favorite characters, I cannot deny that his arc with Sogo's sister is a favorite of mine. It has a solid place in top 5 most emotional arcs in Gintama. In general, he's an absolutely cool character with intriguing viewpoint. On to the next one. Ow. There's not much to say here, honestly. Pretty much a fast and clean process. Overall, I find sketching animals not so energy consuming and generally an enjoyable process. Animals' fur and textures are fairly easy to mimic. You can generally fool most people into thinking that you have drawn every detail of the fur. That is because the human eye is not accustomed to spotting the details in protective coloring of animals. Humans do not stare at wolves on a daily basis, unless they are zoologists, vets, ornithologists, or generally people who have studied animals, or weird people, like me. Next! Yes, a hard one. For those that know, this scene is from Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. An absolutely beautiful scene. The music, the background, the dress, the actors, everything is just beautiful. And of course, I'm an absolute nerd. It is needless to say how gorgeous Natalie Portman is in this dress and how intricate its design is. And of course how handsome Hayden Christensen is. But what I am greatly fond of is not only the color palette of the scene, but also of how emotional it is. Yes, the movies are lacking in certain areas, especially dialogue, but the whole story is so dreamy and touchy. I decided to portray this scene from the prequel series to remind myself of the happiness in the story, so that I can still hope that the third movie will somehow end differently. But alas, the world is cruel and so is the writer. Anyways, you can see that in this drawing, I'm shockingly not using ink pens. I'm going into full colored pencils mode, and boy did my hand hurt afterwards. I think I did a decent job matching the original colors, and I still have a long way to go with the portrayal of light and shadows, but overall, I think it's decent. Unlike other drawings on this channel, I didn't go into too much details with the background. Crazy, I know. Now I want to go to Italy and visit Villa del Baldianello on Lake Como where this scene is shot. I want to stroll down the villa and recite lines from the movie while constantly annoying the poor souls that have decided to accompany me. And we come to the second most redrawn drawing. This is Aaron. I may be currently obsessed with Lord of the Rings, but that will be a topic for a video of its own. I have recently watched all 3 movies of Lord of the Rings, last of the 2 which were extended, and have finished reading The Hobbit. I cannot stop thinking of They're taking the hobbits to Isengard. After I said that. But anyways, now I'm itching to watch the extended versions of The Hobbit. Can I say how much I love additional footage? It actually makes the movie so much better and brings out so much of the characters, especially Merry and Pippin. I may have or have not been watching a lot of behind the scenes footages and memes. Anyways, I must say that Arwen is by far one of the most beautiful characters that I have seen portrayed on TV. Ever since I was little, I was in awe with how ethereal Liv Tyler looks and sounds. Recently, it was said that there will be a new movie of the series, The Hunt for Gollum. And there are some rumors and speculations that there will be new actors who will portray Aragorn and Arwen. Honestly, I hope they find really good actors that could portray those two, because the bar is absolutely beyond the sky. I cannot think of other actors that could replace them or even bring a similar feeling like them. Anyways, about the drawing. So I decided to test my abilities. Before anything, I must say that I am not very proud of this drawing. I tried to draw Arwen in animated style while still keeping her most prominent features like her eye shape, lips, and generally face shape. I think I still need to practice more on this topic and look for more tips. Thankfully, the cover made things a tad bit better, but still, I must study more. Well, what do we have here? It's Chun-Li from Street Fighter. I must say something very important. I cannot look at Chun-Li the same way I used to when I was little. That is because ever since that Jackie Chan night, I can only see Jackie Chan when I look at Chun-Li. Anyways, I love playing as Miss Strong Legs. Of course, when you are little, you always pick the characters you like most and fight most relatable to you in that first Street Fighter game. Then, let's say there isn't that much diversity in female characters, so it's natural to say your favorite is Chun-Li. But even to this day, she still has a special place in my heart. Although I am unsure how I feel about her current portrayal in most recent games. By all means, I like characters with muscles. That isn't my problem. I absolutely don't care, honestly. But in recent designs, her body proportions have changed quite drastically, which is fine. But why? I'm sure there may be a more in-depth answer, but I'm lazy to search up, so if you can enlighten me, please do, and thank you. Aha! We've come to the last two drawings. And of course, because it's the end, I must finish things with some very cool characters. Dark Magician. Yugi's favorite card from Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monsters anime. In my opinion, this guy has peak design. Double shoulder pads, double head pieces, mysterious color scheme, and a very cool name. What more do you need? It's the recipe for a perfect design. Despite my wishes, I couldn't achieve the angle I was striving for. I wanted to portray him from a point from above his left shoulder, but in the end, they just ended up making his right arm looking quite funny. Nonetheless, I'm pleased with the muscles and the course I managed to achieve. And lastly, for day 31st, I summon Blue Eyes White Dragon. This is my favorite drawing from the sketchbook. I am very pleased with the positioning of the drawing, the shading, and the process, and honestly everything. I use reference from the card art and from the anime. Blue Eyes White Dragon is my second favorite card from Yu-Gi-Oh! Now I wonder if you could guess which is my number one. I'll be looking forward to the comments. Look at the pretty sparkly names. Anyways, I hope you found this video enjoyable. I will be posting another one with all the drawings from the sketchbook, which will not be this long. And for the first time, I will post a video that isn't the process of drawing, but the final result. We'll see how that turns out. If you found this video enjoyable, you know what to do. You can also check my Instagram to see my drawings, unless if you want to not spoil yourself. But if that is the case, then you must subscribe and wait for my next video. Anyways, this will be for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye!